All right, guys. I'm really, really excited. I think, Jason, we've done one of these
Yep,
uh, before, but it's been quite a while. So before we dive into getting all this knowledge from you and what you're doing, give us a little background on just you, your team, and a little history.
sure, absolutely. So Jason Bramblett, located here in Greensboro, North Carolina. So we serve about a 70-mile radius within what we call the Triad area. 22 years in real estate, Gabe, if you can believe that or not. And it really is crazy because it seems like it just really has been a nanosecond. So the great thing about doing something that you love, the time goes quick. But and the good thing is you do see a lot of different things in economies and changes, and we've been through twists and turns, great times, bad times, all those things, and mindset and how you react to those type of things are key, no matter what, good, bad, or different. The cool thing about the human mind, it's very malleable, right? And
Right.
so you can choose really how you approach any circumstance. I'm not saying that's easy, but it is certainly a doable thing. And so, we talk with our team daily, and we work through those things. Mindset is a big thing in sales in general, but just being on the team. But yeah, 22 years. We've got a team, 16 total here, and so we've outgrown this space. Actually, we're moving into a new office, so we're going to have room for about 34 agents.
And you're at
And
what currently?
sir,
And you're what? What's your current?
16 currently.
Because
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to you about, I think, what you're doing also kind of in this growth set. So, all right, guys. So Jason, thanks. And what Jason didn't say is like they run a machine. He is so dialed in what they do. They get what they do in their listing presentation, the services and everything they offer is insane. He's never going to say that, but one of the smartest guys I've had the pleasure to know for a good chunk of that 20 years. So,
Yeah.
guys, get ready for some great stuff, and this guy knows his thing. So, before we go, though, again, in case you missed it, Gabe Cordova here, Firepoint Realvolve, Jason Bramblett. If you have questions, I'm going to do my best to watch from the webinar, so please use the Q&A down below. Please ask questions. They're uncertain times right now, and you've got both of us here to answer any questions you may have. We want to help you. What I think is an opportunity right now that we're seeing. So asking the Q&A section. I'll also try to go back and forth and watch the Facebook groups and get your questions. So please chime in whenever possible. So how this came about, Jason posted in a group, a mastermind group that we have. And the question was just like, what are you guys doing? It's uncertain times. And some people are confused whether they should invest more, start investing, stop investing as far as lead gen, recruiting, just everything. So Jason typed in a response, and as I'm reading it, I'm just like, man, I want him to go deeper on this. And he had 2 or 3 things that he and his team are doing, and I love it. And everybody's going to do this different. Jason, I respect and I love it. We're going to do a few of these to get different versions. But Jason, I would love for you to kind of break that down. I know you had 2 or 3 things that you guys are really focusing on right now so that you're staying relevant. So let's jump into it. What's the first one?
So even before all that, right? The first thing is just relax. Just because nobody makes a great decision out of emotion, no matter what, right? And so let's back off a little bit. Let's take a real 30,000-foot view, and certainly I have no ties to the CDC or anything like that. So all I can deal with is what is coming at me and what is coming at us. And so just like all things, when emotion is running rampant, you can really make some critical decisions that are have long time impact. So just first relax and so get an assessment. What we looked at is advertising, and so I do have 22 years of experience in being through good times and bad times. So we looked at, okay, the circumstance is something that we haven't dealt with, but what is going to be the human behavior regardless, right? Because it doesn't really matter the circumstance, the behavior is usually pretty much the same when there is some type of trauma, um, a circumstance in which somebody feels out of control.
So real quick, Joel, in
And
case somebody missed it, I want them to catch this. You said we're going through this because we've been through this before. You've been doing this long enough to where this isn't exactly new. It's different, but it's not new and where you know it's going.
yeah, and that's one of the, I certainly take it is a disadvantage, unfortunately, for a lot of people probably listening, is they haven't went through anything like this. So, hey, when you haven't went through something, the best thing to do is reach out and walk with people, or get, advice, or get some understanding from people that have. And so what's the great thing about the internet and the power of, these Zoom meetings and things that we can do. But so advertising wise, so what we looked at is, okay, where are people going to be? All right. And then it's a circumstance in which um, typically people aren't in this circumstance. So what are they going to do? They're stuck at home. They're working. Most of them have never worked from home, right? And or haven't had cabin fever, right? It's setting in. And so they migrate to what? The TV. And so, well, I thought, okay, well, we have a great TV presence. Actually, we're going to have more eyeballs on our TV campaign than ever before. So I know that's something we don't want to get rid of.
Right.
When they get rid of or get bored with the TV, then the next thing is, or maybe it's even, coexist. It's going to be social media, right? And so that I knew that was a place in which we not only did we not want to get away from, we actually wanted to enhance, and we wanted to increase our presence with messaging on social media, because we realized that more and more people have more downtime and or looking for entertainment. Well, if you can't find the entertainment on the TV, especially if you're a sports guy, you're done, right? There's nothing. Everything's canceled. So if I can't get sports on TV other than watching, last year's Super Bowl, I'm probably going to head to my favorite social media sites or whatever it may be. So you're going to have even more people, especially sports fans, I believe, that are going to be reaching out or looking at anything sports related through social media. So we actually are increasing our presence there with messaging on that.
So I mean, when you say you're increasing this is your lead generation
Correct.
cost, you're actually increasing it. So whether it's on social or PPC and all that, going through this, like what's your expectation as far as what is your cost per lead going to do doing it now versus what it's been?
Truthfully, I really believe that the cost per lead is probably significantly going to go down. I think the engagement level is going to increase exponentially. Now, I will say this is not now business that we're looking for. And so I want to be clear on that. This is not a magic bullet in which I think, hey, because everybody's stuck at home and or they're bored, that they're going to start engaging with us and we're going to end up with sales. But I've always been a believer in working the top of the funnel.
Right.
And so what I'm looking for are people that are going to raise their hand and say, hey, we're going to do something in the future. Our window of time frame we look at, and the question we would always ask is, Gabe, do you know anybody that's thinking about buying or selling a home in the next 5 years? And the reason why we chose 5 years is we find that most people, I guess, move somewhere in that 5 to 7 year range. It's also a very non-threatening question. When I say 5 years, it's like, oh, you can't do anything to me now, right? It's different than, hey, do you know anybody that's thinking about buying or selling? Well, now you've put pressure on me, right? It is probably the same answer, but yet 5 years lets me off the hook.
Yep.
And
I'm curious, actually, it put a smile on my face. Did you see a difference in responses when you started using the 5 years? Because again, most people do plan on moving in 5 years.
Oh,
A lot more yeses.
Absolutely, especially in door knocking campaigns. When you go door knocking, oh, you're the sales guy, beating on the door. What most salespeople, when they knock on a door or even on a phone call, it's now business. They're only working with the low hanging fruit.
Right.
And so when you dissolve and dismiss the low hanging fruit, and it also shows that you're in for the long haul, right? I'm in to build a relationship. And so when I say 5 years, yeah, the number of referrals actually that they give you increases as well, because there's absolutely nothing to lose in that. first of all, the first thing that they believe 100% of the time, there is no way this guy's going to follow up with me for 5 years, right?
Well, they're right 90% of the time.
And this is true. They are, except for when they answer our question.
Yeah.
But the really cool thing about it is typically, and here's the typical response is 18 to 36 months. Hey, I know there's 3 or 4 people at our job here in employment. They're getting transferred in the next 18 to 36 months. Hey, awesome. Could you make an introduction? We'd like to reach out to them and just let them know about us. Very non-threatening. I'm not trying to sell them anything today. But you think about that is if you could, it's like getting answers to the test, right? If I know Gabe is moving in 30 months, here's what I have. I have 26 opportunities to bring value to him every month for the next 26 months. When I get into that 120-day window, when now he is a seller or a buyer, I want to increase my frequency. But if I've done the first 26 right, that's going to be welcomed as long as I stayed consistent and added value. And most people, their added value, little script is, hey, Gabe, I just wanted to check in with you. How's everything going? Yeah, it's the same as it was last month, man.
So not only are you increasing your yeses, though, but if I heard your script correctly, opening it up, you're not even asking about them. You're giving them a get out of jail or letting off the hook because you asked if they know anybody. So not only did you increase your chances of getting a yes, but you opened up your market. So you've now not just limited it to that one lead. What we're talking about is one of the things Jason's doing right now is he's really, I don't know if it's doubling down, but he's staying steady, if not increasing his lead gen on social media, Google, etc. But it's the scripts he's using to get the yeses. And what I would guess, and you and I have both been through this in 07, 08. I did not use a script like that. I wish I had. But even today, how many people do we know, whether it's, hotel industry, restaurant, we know there's a lot of layoffs coming and stuff. And people love to offer help and assistance to others too. So I love if you're reaching out and we're actually, you said working from home, we need to be working from home. But using that script allows them the opportunity to be like, you know what, I actually do know somebody who might have some questions for you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And people love to help, right? And so the default, piece of that is, yes, I am asking Gabe, hey, are you thinking about moving in the next 5 years? Or do you know anybody else, right? So he's included in that. Hey, do you know anybody? Well, as a matter of fact, we're retiring in 4 years and we are 100% going to sell our home and we're going to move to Florida or whatever the case may be. But what it is really is they've given you, think about this. You have exclusivity now 48 times, because we have found once a month is sufficient. Okay. And more than that far out is annoying, right? And the key piece I want to make sure you understand is bring value. This is not a, hey, I'm checking on you. They're not looking for a friend, okay? They're looking for a professional that can bring value and information about their community, about their home, about, whatever may be going on in and around that area. So you do have to lead with value of some kind. But, now the other thing that to kind of, piggyback on what Gabe said, another thing that we would say to Gabe is before we, end our conversation, Gabe, is there anything I can do for you today? Right? Yeah. Just coming from a level of service. By default, he typically, I think psychologically, Gabe did not automatically go to what could this guy do for me? He went to, I wonder what I could do for him. Right? It's the gift of reciprocity. If I do something for you, you feel that you should do something for me. If you don't believe that is a true behavioral thing, think it in your own life. You received a gift, or you sent a gift and they sent you a thank you card. And then you immediately thought, oh, I should send them a thank you card for their thank you card. Right? Yeah. Because there's just something in us that says, oh, I got something, I need to give something.
Yep.
And so that's where the add value comes. How can I add value? And then there is I think a little bit of just in the human culture that they want to give back to. And then I just want to end that with, how could I serve you? Is there anything I could do for you today? Not related to real estate,
You're
anything.
asking for the sale, right? I think that's the key. And what I love is, telling agents when you start focusing on the service, not the sale. The sale is going to come because they're looking at you as a source of information and help and knowledge as a professional and to provide a service. And I think too often when we're looking at this, it's what's the script to set the appointment? What's the script to do this? And I personally think they're going about it wrong. It's how do you provide service? How do you stay in front of them so that when they're ready to raise their hand and need help, because that's what we know they need, that you're the one that they choose. And I think everything that you just said is focusing on positioning yourself as that source for them for help and assistance, not a salesperson.
Sure. So if you could visualize a funnel, right? And so we know that the funnel's the widest at the top, right? And then everything, trickles down through it. Most agents and most salespeople in general, they focus on the neck of the funnel, right? And the neck of the funnel is right where the low-hanging fruit is. Those are people who need to buy and sell now. I need sales today, right? And so that's what they keep searching for. But they keep neglecting the top of the funnel. And the only way I have found that you last in sales or last in business a long time is you concentrate on the top. Because what I can do with the top of the funnel that I can't do with the neck of the funnel is I can put, Gabe in there that's out 36 months. I can put, Bill and Sandy who's out there a year, and this person's 24, and this is 22 months, and this is 19 months. And as long as I service them, bring value, and stay top of mind, all of those people will start to drop into your funnel. And so the downside with the neck of the funnel is there's walls there, right? And no matter how much I want to do, I can't cram any more people in there. And so, but that's the short-sightedness, I think, of most salespeople is not service, it's money. And that's what, it's that quick, low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, no, we all want the instant gratification. So I'm guessing when you're saying, hey, when I said 90% of the agents or teams out there probably are going to drop the ball. And is it just your systems? You have a plan for that. As soon as you know and get the answer, I'm guessing you've built in your follow-up campaigns, your drip campaigns, your follow-up cadence, so that it's not learning it every time. It's just step by step by step. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that is very true. We have this amazing tool, and it's really cool. It works like 100% of the time when you click the right buttons. It's called FirePoint. and so, the great thing, you can build all these campaigns within the system. If your CRM is working properly for you, what you do is you show up in the morning, you turn on your computer, and it tells you every single thing you need to do already. It's done for you. It's a paint by number system. And you just have to put the data in there as you go. So that way I know that on September 10th, I need to deliver something of value to Gabe. And I need to be approaching it from a level of service, and how can I serve him outside of just selling his home?
Yeah, well,
right?
You don't have to invent it every time, right? Like go for it once.
Absolutely. And so, some of these campaigns get, a little bit intense. Like, we all heard the, 10 days of pain and, all these different things, right? And they do work. And here's the thing. Here's the great thing about sales. It all works if you do it.
Yep. So a couple questions. Yeah, I want to address a couple questions. So Michael, was talking about current market. So Michael, what I want to make sure you understand is what we're talking about is increasing this now. What Jason's doing, and we're going to get his other 2 points, is there's a lot of agents and teams right now that are backing off and letting off the gas when it comes to lead generation. What we're seeing and what we've seen in the past, 07, 08, 09, is lead costs are going down. So what he's doing is stepping on this. We're wanting to make a point that when you step on the gas and you're filling that funnel, that top of funnel, so that you're getting it and you're putting them in your systems, getting going, that it's business down the road, whether it's Facebook, Google, PPC, any of that. We know for the most part it's not immediate, but I think the point on this is it's not letting up right now, whether it's you or your team or you and your lender really coming together to keep the pressure going on this. So really it is relevant today. There's a huge opportunity to start filling up that funnel and grow. And it's going to play into, I know, one of your points coming up. Let me get to one other. Richard wants to know, hey, here you need to bring a lot of value. Can you give me an example of a monthly follow-up where you're doing a value add?
Sure, absolutely. So let's just say it's a first, maybe like a first value add. So, and you want to, farm or talk to people probably that are, are going to be in somewhere where you can get some good demographics for this. And so let's just say it's an average subdivision, right? So you can bring just a simple, market analysis, right? Here's the homes that have sold in your area, right? Most homeowners want to keep up with those stats. Yes, can they go online and click a few buttons? And absolutely. But it's that personal touch of this is not just a computer generated spam email. This needs to be delivered either if you're farming a neighborhood face to face, hand it to them, right? Nice presentation, not just some, cheesy thing that you printed off from your MLS, right? Or if it's email, don't just send an email, send a video email, right?
Don't you think right now that's more important than ever? Like I preach video email, guys. In a time where we can't be out, whether it's doing open houses or door knocking, or you don't think you should be, I think right now using video email inside the CRM so you can see what's going on is more critical than ever. Be that face and that voice that's familiar with them right now, offering that service so that as we're seeing more and more, activity and showings and everything, that you didn't cut off that that's still face to face. Jason and I are face to face right now, and you can build rapport with people right now. It's more important than ever to keep that going.
Absolutely, and just use the the NAR statistic, right? What do they put out every year? 78% of people work with what? The first person that gets in front of them. Am I in front of all of you right now? Would this count? I believe it would. I don't think it has to be face to face. I think it is the first face that gets in front of them. That's not a static image, right? And so Zoom or whatever it is, or whatever, FaceTime, whatever it is you're using, that's going to count. In the future, I don't think any phone call will happen in the next 10 years where it's not face to face on the phone. You talking to a number, that's gone. It's out of here. It's going to be visual.
Until you build that relationship where you don't need to, right? So, okay, I think there's a ton more here. The takeaway I want to get on this one, because I want to move to the next one, is there's a huge opportunity right now to increase that funnel or fill that funnel and increase your deals down the road, especially with your systems in place. I think at a fraction of the cost, if you're able to do that. I would really look at your numbers to see where you can invest in that. One thing I want to make sure we get to, though, the fact that you're filling your funnel and all these opportunities, another thing that you're doing in today's market to reach out that I have not heard anybody talk about is what you're doing with agents and referrals. So I'd love for you to kind of talk about that, because I think this is genius, and it's great when you have the strength of a team like yours to do this.
Absolutely. So look, there are many people in our industry that are not, full-time agents, right? And so we've got a wealth. Actually, I figured it up actually for today's meeting. So we figured it up. It's 3,600 sales that are going to happen in our market this year from agents that sell 5 homes or less.
3,600. 3,600.
That is correct. Here's what we know. Most of them are part-time. Most of them are working for things such as healthcare, an extra car, private school for the kids, whatever the case may be. But typically, it's a supplemental income position, and it's typically for the family. Most of them have been called home, and they're going to be home for weeks and maybe months, depending on how long this goes with, they have children in an age group in which they just can't be by themselves. So they're going to be at home. They're not more than likely going to be able to get out to service these clients. So we're reaching out to these agents to let them know that they can still, their hard-earned effort doesn't have to go unrewarded. We can help service those people, and we'll gladly pay them a referral. That way they're earning money still. They're getting a piece of what they would have, got had they been able to be out in the community, be able to go show the properties or be able to list the homes, whatever it may be. But it gives them an opportunity to get something, as opposed to now just being back to stuck. And so now they don't know what to do,
So you guys are proactively reaching out to other agents in your market, probably identified who may be part-time, just saying, hey, you're in a situation where you're having to stay home because kids are home and you can't get away, or this or that. You're offering the assistance for your team to be able to take care of it for referral, so they don't have to worry about going without.
That is correct. That is correct. So, and we're, there's going to be, many people that won't work for, and that's fine. But, hey, if there's 100 real estate agents we can help, we want to help them. Look, there's always enough business for everybody. That's one thing I've never worried about that. There's more than enough business for those folks that will, have the right mindset, put in systems and processes in place. But, this is a time in which we have the ability to offer this, to our fellow real estate people. And just realizing some of them are in situations that, they didn't choose to be in, and unfortunately they can't do anything about it. So we also believe this will be not only kind of a twofold. We'll provide giving back and a great service, and then we'll be able to service new customers at a high level.
I love it. And I think, again, one of the opportunities in the market today by what you're doing is, and we saw this, it's going off of history because it's what we know, is that we've got the ones that you're probably talking about, a lot of the part-timers that came in, they're going to do 1, 2 a year because they just happen to know somebody. But that adds up when you have thousands of agents, right, doing that. I think we're going to see a lot of those get out of the business. It's just what we saw again. And then you're going to see these agents that were maybe in that 5 to 10 or 12 great agents that want to do this full time, but don't have the systems, don't have the tools, don't have the resources to increase their lead gen right now. And I think what you guys are doing, you're also positioning yourself to be able to really grow your team. You're going to a new space where there's all this growth. I think teams that are operating efficiently and take the risk and do what your first point was by increasing lead gen right now, you're going to need more help down the road. There's a massive opportunity for growth here that agents are going to want a place to go.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And most, most agents I talk to, they sign up with, a company or whatever because, potential training that they may receive. But, one of the things we realize with training is it really needs to be like apprenticeship style, like show me how, right? That type, not talk about it from a stage, not give me a speech, not give me a webinar, but actually just walk me through exactly how to do this, right? It goes back to the old apprentice model, many trades, plumbing, HVAC, all these things. Most appraisal companies in the entire United States have an apprentice type system. And there's a reason being, walking through it, seeing it, doing it, touching it makes a big difference. And so that is our type of training, as opposed to here's a book, pay us money, whatever it is, and learn. And that does work, but it doesn't work for the majority of people. Look, there's 5,000 books on the New York Times best-selling list right now that teaches you how to be a millionaire or a billionaire. My question is, why aren't you? If it was just read a book, right, go do it, right?
So here
because most people, you need more, right, Gabe? You've got to take action steps and walk through it.
Yes, I mean, that's the point. It's taking the action steps. And I'm seeing, so I've been on a handful of these because everybody's wanting, to talk about this. And I got off one of what I think I told you earlier, it was about 3 hours, did one yesterday. Everybody's like, what is the script to set the appointment today? Or what are you doing? And I know you're increasing lead gen, you're reaching out to agents, offering to do referrals, and there's one more, but you're not really revamping your entire business. Right?
No, sir.
Start this whole thing off by just calm the hell down, right? Calm down.
Yeah.
I think we can make some tweaks to what we're doing. Like, to me, a big part of it is the calls are still going to get made, but it's shifting more to a focus, open-ended. I loved yours. You know anybody who may be buying or selling and need help in the next 5 years, but make it very service-oriented, because I think people just have questions right now and they're going to reach out. But I think there's too many people right now wanting, Jason, what's the magic script that I can send out mass text to my entire database right now that's going to get 100 people to raise their hand?
Right.
And there isn't one. I don't know why we're looking. I think we need to tweak some things, but I think people are looking for that. Okay, what's that 180 change I have to do differently right now today to survive this? And I'm hearing you make some tweaks, but is there anything that's a big change that you're doing?
No. Okay, so let's just get a for real instance. So, and it goes back to you. It goes back to working the top of funnel and knowing your people, right? And knowing your leads. If you're trying to take a one conversion lead and make a sale out of it, great. That's low hanging fruit. It happens rarely, right? We know statistically people are 7 to 9 months out once they hit our website for the first time, right? I mean, there's no magic bullet that's going to make them do that any quicker. It's a job relocation. It's waiting for the kids to get out of school, whatever the case may be. But if I know the mindset behavior of who I'm speaking with, so if I have the relationship with the potential client, and I know that they're a family wanting to get a bigger home, but now they're a little bit nervous to go out and look at homes because they don't want to go in houses that, maybe, higher risk to get, a virus or anything.
Right.
Well, let's diffuse that. What type of homes could they look at? Well, how about vacant homes,
Right.
right? How about new houses? Things in which people haven't lived in or are not living in. And so can I still get to them to their goal of moving now, but not have them in contact with the masses of people and going in 7, 8, or 10 homes that are occupied? Absolutely. So it's taking what they're looking for and figuring out a workaround. Okay, how can we do this? Well, okay, you don't want to go see this house. I understand that this Saturday there are 5 homes that you'd like to see, but you're scared to death of going in these houses and taking a preview because of the risk, and maybe you've got a family member at home, a child or whatever that is at a higher risk. Okay, great. Well, how about this? Why don't we go do a FaceTime video and I'll walk through all the houses for you. I'll preview them with you on the phone. I'll walk through the house. I'll open up cabinets. I'll go in every single room. You can sit at the comfort of your home on your computer, and I'll be out in the field and I'll do all the walkthrough for you. Is that different?
No.
Is that really that big a deal?
And let's take it a step further. And I love that, because that's exactly what I said earlier. And somebody's like, well, but sometimes they just really want to see. How many times have we written an offer for an out-of-state buyer based on pictures or a walkthrough, and then it was contingent upon, a personal walkthrough later? Like, you can help them narrow it down and still represent them. I think we're looking as an industry, unfortunately, for that magic pill, that magic script, that magic mass email or text, the shortcut. And I hate to tell you guys, but in a down market, work still has to be done. We still have to go through it. I think there's more opportunity now with so many people going out, but there's still process, and we're overcomplicating it. We sell homes to people out of state, sight unseen, all the time. So whether it's video walkthroughs, virtual tours, or a contingency, so they can walk through it later. So even if it is occupied, maybe you get the seller to do the video walkthrough, contingent offer if they like it, get it out and get it cleaned. I've had to hire interpreters, right? But why can't we hire somebody to go through and clean? Like, whatever we need to do to make them feel comfortable, we just need to stop overcomplicating it. It's really business as usual with some tweaks.
It really is. I mean, and what I think is we'll get really, really good at asking the right questions to qualify the people better.
Yep.
Because most of the time agents are out showing way too many houses anyway, right? And so you should be optimistic here. But one of the things that this thing will do, it's going to shrink the number of houses that people want to see, right? I don't need to go see 6. I think I'll just sell with these 2, right? And so by default, you're going to receive some type of benefit from it as well. But it's you've got to know your people, and you've got to know the questions, and I will tell you one thing. This may not be what you want to hear, but this is the truth. This is going to separate a lot of you guys out between realizing that you are actually an order taker and you're not a service salesperson. And there is a difference. When I ask people,
I want you to repeat that, because if you are not paying attention right now, please repeat that. I think that's huge.
Yeah. So it is going to separate the fact that you're going to realize that you are either an order taker or you are a service salesperson. And there is a huge difference in that statement. And when people ask me, when I ask most real estate people, what do you do for a living? I'm in real estate. That's a nothing. I'm a salesperson. When somebody asks me what I do, I own a sales company. We happen to sell real estate. And next year maybe coffee cups, and the year after that maybe widgets. But the bottom line is this: we own a sales company. Real estate is our product. And so if what defines you is you're in real estate, there's not any money in I'm in real estate. There's money in real estate sales, ownership, owning things, but that's just a label. What is the action, that you need to take? And some of you are going to have a wake up call, and that's okay. And you know what? Because it's not any fun to be in the wrong seat on the bus, right? And so, hey, just because you can't sell service doesn't mean you can't work within the industry. There's lots of places on the bus, but maybe sales isn't for you. And this is going to be a great time of self-reflection and looking back. I know a lot of people get in this business for hundreds of different reasons, and that is fine. You do not need to sell 100 houses a year by any stretch of the imagination to be successful and or to be a top agent. A top agent for me is the person that serves their client at the highest level, no matter who it is, and they get an amazing amount of referrals because they're awesome, right? And it doesn't matter if that's 10 a year, 20 a year, or thousands a year.
I think it's something I had, being in the wrong seat on the bus. There is no, whether you're a team lead, you're an agent on a team, buyer listing agent, there's no right, wrong, better, right? The team leads take on all the stress, all the expense, all the risk, right? Buyers agents are out there, listing agents, doing it, but there's no risk. If you're in the market, you feel like in the wrong seat, this is the opportunity of what we're going to see where there's some shifting. And, we're talking about fear and getting through this market. I've seen in the downturn before, and I've already heard a couple people like, I don't know if my pride will allow me to reach out to some of the team leads or teams in my market to just say, hey, I'm interested in joining a team. Man, I'd get past that, right? There are a lot of people out there right now that don't have an opportunity to choose if they want to stay in business or not versus getting laid off. And I think this is a great time to really see, hey, it was great while it lasted. Things are shifting. There are some great teams that need agents that are going to increase and put the pedal to the metal like Jason and do additional lead gen. There's opportunity there. I think this is a great time for self-reflection as well. Am I in the right seat? Am I in the right career path to get through this and be successful? Because man, there's a ton of opportunity here, and you getting real is real world, right? I mean, everything you just said is 100% accurate. And if you're an agent or a team lead, you need to be digesting this and really understand, is this, am I still heading to the right spot? Am I on the right path to get where I want to go?
That's it. And value is something that comes up a lot. I don't know what to do. My company, my team, my whatever hasn't taught me how to bring value. All I know is to just say this script and magically these people will appear and buy a house or sell a house, right? And so you need to analyze that. If you're not with a company or team that does teach you how to add value, it's real easy. How would you like to be treated? I mean, that's really the core of what I go back to. And I get a lot of feedback from our clients. All of our processes and systems are from feedback from them, and we've catered to them what they want. To a certain degree, we've taken that and collaborated together and come up with great systems and processes. But at the end of the day, you're a consumer, you're a client, you're a customer. Think about it. If I was in the other shoes, what would be value to me? And 99% of the time, that's what you need to do. That's the action you need to take.
I couldn't agree more. These are real people, right? We get into this mindset. These are leads. How do I follow up with these leads? What's the magic script? They're people. How would you, I don't know if you were on the webinar yesterday, and I don't even know who I'm ripping off, and if I remembered, I'd give them credit. But they're like, you know what? I really wanted to figure out what to say. And they're like, I finally just sat down and was like, if I was writing this message to one of my best friends and they had a question, or a family member, why should it be any different? And they're like, these are real people with real concerns right now in our database that just have questions, that just want to know if they have a resource. So,
right.
It's the same thing. It's just be real with them. How would you want somebody to reach out to you if this was outside your expertise? When you call your doctor or practitioner or whoever is answering questions about what's going on right now, how would you want them to address you or be available? I mean, let's just adapt that into our professional career and what we're needing to do.
I agree. There's no planet called leads out there that I found, Gabe, right? But that is so true. And, look, you have to have big, huge belief in yourself. I mean, the way I approach real estate and the way I approach sales and people is, look, it's my ethical responsibility to work with Gabe. I feel horrible if he chooses somebody else because I know that I am the best person to serve him, right? And that's how I approach every single situation in real estate and every single person, right? It's my ethical responsibility to make sure that he chooses me. How am I going to make sure that he chooses me? I'm going to deliver awesome value. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be attentive. I'm going to care. I'm going to show all those things through my actions, right? Guys, it's kind of really like exactly what you would want. So, I mean, it's really that simple.
I'm really, really confused by this. So You're telling me we don't need to turn our businesses upside down and do everything completely different than we've always done, and that we need to reach out to people and talk to them like real people are how we want to be talked to ourselves. I mean, it sounds silly, but I think everybody's wanting that magic pill, and there are opportunities. You're reaching out to agents, offering to pay them referral if they can't get out. I love that you're increasing lead gen and all that, because we're all, as far as I know, you're planning on being in business in a year. So am I. So, our other team leads. But you started this whole thing off as just like, calm down, stop panicking. And I think it's key. And I've been on so many of these and watched so many of these. There's not a magic pill. I think break it down and focus on that service, and not the sale. Now, one thing I have seen, and I think that this is really just giving us the opportunity. I don't know if you've really looked at yours yet, Jason. You probably have. But looking at our database, I am shocked how many people are on our website right now. It has shot up significantly. Normally, by the time I get to the bottom of page one, I'm like, a day, 2 days out. And when I looked at that this morning and I logged on, I was only like 5 or 6 hours out when I was at the bottom of page one. People are curious. People have questions. You have so much opportunity in your database to just get in there and look who's saving favorites, who's viewing properties, who's logging on. And personally, it's a phone call. If not, it's at least a video text or a video email, letting them know that you are at home actually working, not just watching TV, but available to answer questions. And I love Jason's script. Do you know anybody, moving or selling in the next 5 years that may have some questions right now, may need some help, whatever it is? I think it's huge. And then shut up.
Yeah. They'll answer the question. Don't answer it for them, right? Just shut up, right? Ask the question. And again, it's such a softball question. It's anyone, you're included in that. And really what I'm looking for, even if they say, no, nobody's coming to mind, well, hey, plant the seed. Tell them where to look. Here's where I want you to look. Well, hey, if you hear anything online, and normally we'd say around the water cooler at work, but since you're not there, but if you hear anything and talking to your coworkers, and somebody needs, they're going to move or upside or downside, hey, just mention my name. I'll be happy to, answer any questions for them. So tell them where you want them to go search, whether it be their church or their workplace or whatever it is, their organization, their club, the swimming pool in the summer, the community swimming pool, wherever it is. Tell them where to be on the lookout for that information. And then, it's an awareness. Does it happen every single time? No. But, here's the other thing with real estate. It is not the client or the lead from the planet lead's responsibility to remember you. It is your responsibility to make sure they never forget you. Okay? There's a big difference in that statement. And so bring value, right? The difference is this: when I'm looking for a lead, I'm expecting the lead to give me value, right? When I'm looking for a client, I'm expecting to bring the value.
And it's so easy right now. I think that's the other key right now that's different today is right now there are a lot of questions. We have them, they have them, right? What did it mean when the Fed slashed the interest rates? What does this mean? Just be visible, be present, and be seen, right? And you don't have to do that by going and knocking on their door. There's a ton of opportunities. And these aren't things that are different necessarily. We should be doing them all the time. But right now, based on people's activity going online, because they are home more, they're bored, I'm tired of, I think everybody's tired of turning on the TV and just seeing, doom and gloom, doom and gloom. We need to be educated, but they are wanting that escape, and they are looking at real estate. Just be visible. I think it's huge, and don't over complicate it. So we're around 45 minutes and I can't believe how fast that went. Any parting words, Jason? I mean, you've been doing this for a long time, and running really tight and profitable. One thing about you run it like a business, which is incredible. Anything outside this, just a takeaway for people since you've been through this before?
Yeah. So, with anything, again, it goes back to emotion, right? And so here's what you can be is the calm in the storm, right? And so life is going to happen. Look, from 2000 to 2004, when anybody was breathing could get a loan, we still had homes in foreclosure. You could sell anything, but yet there were still foreclosures. And logically, that just kind of works against all math and reason and everything else. And it's because life was happening to those people differently, right? And they didn't know how to react, and they didn't get connected with a real estate professional that could walk them through how to untangle that through a deed in lieu of foreclosure, or a short sale, or whatever the case may be, right? And it's going to be no different in this situation. Be the resource for your community, right? And come from a place of understanding and compassion, and walk them through, hey, I know you really, really want to buy a home, and here's an idea. Here's how we could do that. What if I went and did a video tours, or what if we only looked at new homes or empty homes or whatever? And come up with some solutions. Is it going to work for everybody? No, nothing works for everybody. We're human. We're not clones, right? And so that's why there's no one script that works on every single person, because we're all different. And so just put yourself on the other side of the screen, and 99 times out of 100, that's exactly where you need to go, right? And so if I could leave you with anything, it would be that. But lead with compassion, and look, people are scared and people are nervous about stuff, and respect it, and just be a resource for them. Let them know you're available, right? And you'll be fine. But it does take effort, right? And it's that mundane repetition that pays in the long run, and it's just staying on top of stuff.
Man, I love you, man. I couldn't agree more. Be that resource. I'm going to add something you said, though. I'm going to tie two things you just said together for my last thoughts. Is everything Jason just said is right on the money. And I think it's just, is it on the money business-wise? It's the right thing to do, right? Being that resource and be available. But I want to tie you back to what he said a few minutes ago. It's not their job, though. It's not all the people, not just the leads, but it's not all your past clients and all your current buyers and sellers in your database that you've been prospecting and following up with. It is not their job to remember that you are that resource. I think it is on us all right now to make sure that we're visible, and letting them know that we are that resource more than ever.
Yeah, 100% agree. 100% agree.
Awesome, man. I am so grateful that you joined us. Talking about again, quick recap. Increasing lead gen to fill the top of funnel, keeping it going so that you're busy down the road as well. Offering assistance to other agents that can't get out and show property, and then just keeping it real, being that resource, and making sure that our all of our contacts, our people, know that you're available and still here to help them through this. Sweet, man.
Absolutely. Good stuff, my man. Hey, appreciate it. Guys, appreciate all you that tuned in and watched, and share those with a friend if it made any sense to you. But really, just you can be the rock, right? You can be the source of really some stabilization in this state, because moving's emotional anyway. And so come from it from a place of adding value, and you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine.
We're going to make it. Awesome, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I'm sure we'll see you again before too long.
All right. Thank you both. We'll see you. All righty. Bye now.